All right, we should be live on YouTube. Give it a second. And we're going to start recording. Oh, so welcome everybody to a very special episode of the Yin Yang Wolf Pack. Man, we're back. This weekend has been amazing. It's been very eye-opening. You know, as you go further along this process, you start to realize and see that you can really create anything, man. Like there was last night, we did a podcast with AZD on the Dreams to Reality podcast with our friend Annabelle. I think his last name is Rodriguez, Annabelle Rodriguez. And you know, like so much work has been put in to develop what all of this is, right? Like to develop me as a character, to develop IMC, to develop AZD's character and what he does, like the understanding of social dynamics, the understanding of communication, the understanding of relationships, the understanding of business, the understanding of money, the understanding of how to run an organization, like how to develop good relationships with people, you know? Like all of this stuff is very important, and it helps you in your life, man. If you can speak, if you can have good relationships, like that's all you want. Like really, that's when people when they're on their deathbed, they don't wish for anything other than having had good people around them and having been a good person. And that is developing the character that you want. And you know, you're not gonna die regretting shit that you did. I mean, maybe like if you killed somebody or something, you know, like maybe you're gonna regret that, but really it's the main regrets are gonna be on what you didn't do. I didn't talk to that girl. I didn't go over there. I didn't, you know, visit that place. I didn't fix my relationship with my father, fix my relationship with my mom. Like these are things that as you get older, you're going to wish you had done. And as I'm learning now in both the AZD business program and through reading this book right here that I have next to me that I want to talk about, The Richest Man in Babylon, like you're going to regret not having gone for it all the way. That's the only thing that you're going to regret. Like I don't regret becoming an attorney. I would have regretted not working my ass off to become an attorney because now it's giving me so many fruits. And I've barely been an attorney for a year and a half. And it's provided so much for me in such a short amount of time. And it's just the beginning of this thing. Okay. So what I want to do today is talk about this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And I haven't read that much of it, but I want to share parts of it that I did really like and see how it helps us. Okay. So the very first chapter is called The Man Who Desired Gold. See, as soon as I hear that, two things came in my head. One was, oh, so you just desire gold? Motherfucker, that's the devil right there. That's the mother. Yo, okay, well, what do you desire instead? Do you desire dirt? Do you desire being poor? Do you desire being like on the floor, being the lowest rung of society? Or do you desire being someone worthy of gold? How about the man who desired gold? How about the gold medal? The man who desired to be number one. Wow. That's better, right? But it's the same thing. The thing is that we've been so miseducated on money that we think wanting money is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. The thing is, you just have to be able to create it well and create it ethically, right? Do it in a way that you're not fucking people over. Yeah? Okay, so let's see. So there's a part where there's these guys who they desire gold and they wonder why they haven't made any fucking money. And then they look at a guy who has a lot of money and they think, well, is he that much better than us? Is he that much smarter than us? Does he work that much harder than us? We went to the same schools. Like we had the same teachers. What was so different about this guy that now he's like rolling in money and we're not? Why? And so they make a very wise decision and they go and ask him. Why? Because he did it. He figured something out to the point to where he's successful at it. So how about let's ask him about that? That already is such a good point because You shouldn't go asking your broke friends how to make money. You shouldn't go asking fat people how to become healthy. You shouldn't ask people who have no experience with women or have never had a girlfriend how to get women. Like, it's fucking plain and simple. But the thing is, because they're your friend or something, like, you think that you should take their advice. Like, no, motherfucker, teach me something that you're good at. If you're not good at this thing, why the fuck are you telling me about it? Right? It's like you coming to me and asking me how to fucking, I don't know, bake a cake. Like, I mean, sure, dude, I think you get some flour and like water, or, I don't know, milk. Like, I could give you some advice. It would be shit advice and you shouldn't fucking listen to me about it. Now, if you want to ask me, how do I pass the bar? Okay, I've done that shit twice now. So I could tell you how the fuck to pass the bar, or how to get into Harvard. I did that shit. How to get into law school. I did that shit. You should ask me about that. How to be a base leader. I've been a base leader now from over a year. Fuck, a year, about a year. Like, I've done that for a while now. I can tell you about that. Now, whenever you seek advice, you have to seek it from someone who's worthy of giving you that advice. So bam, that's number one. Okay, so Arkad is the guy who made a lot of money, and he said this: if you have not acquired more than the bare existence in the years since we were youths, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them. So why are you broke? You don't understand how money works. Or you understand how money works and you're not abiding by the laws that govern money. Plain and simple. So chances are, just like me, you just don't know how the fuck it works. So, okay, let's find out how the fuck it works. That's why I'm taking now the business program with AZD. That's why I'm reading this damn book, because it's going to teach me how the fuck money works, so that I can be the richest man in Babylon, as opposed to the poorest motherfucker, the man who desired dirt. No. So then he kind of gives the story of how he found out to make money. He learned it, of course, from a man who had money. I realized this. I decided to myself that I would claim my share of good things of life. I would not be one of those who stand afar off, enviously watching others enjoy. I would not be content to clothe myself in the cheapest raiment that looked respectable. I would not be satisfied with the lot of a poor man. On the contrary, I would make myself a guest at the banquet of good things. It starts with a decision. I decided to myself that I would claim my share of good things of life. How about make the decision? Will you claim the good things in life, or are you okay being miserable and broke? Make the decision. Oh, and this other part, he's asking about, like, well, if you're an older man, you can't teach a younger person how to make money, because it was different when they were that age, and it was not than it was right now. He says, the sun that shines today is the sun that shone when my father was born, and will still be shining when the last grandchild shall pass into the darkness. These rules are the same. Maybe new things like now, like with crypto or whatever, like there are new developments on it, but the basic principles, they're the same. And so somebody who's learned how to do it before can still teach you. Like there is wisdom in age, for sure. I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you. Bam, this is the biggest one. So he talks about keeping for yourself. Okay, he says right here, if you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? And the answer was, I would earn 1 year's worth. Nope. Because that 1/10 is not just to be fucking put, in your under your mattress, or is that 1/10 is not to go under your mattress or into the bank or into like a savings account. It's to be used. And they use some really interesting words. It's like the gold shall work for me, and the gold's children shall work for me, and the gold's children's children shall work for me. Meaning you put this 10th into something that will fight for value. If it's sitting in your mattress, it's not fighting for value. Now, if it's sitting, say, in gold, that appreciates over time. If it's in property, that appreciates over time. Or it could go down, right? But generally speaking, these things will go up. And then you get into other things such as like stocks. These motherfuckers, think of it as like every penny is a soldier. And they're fighting. And it's fighting to gain more and gain acquisition and conquer more lands. And sometimes, I started investing now. I'm using stocks, doing stocks. And sometimes it goes up, it's a little green, and sometimes it's down, it's in the red. But the thing is, it's not standing still. If it's sitting at home, like I have some fucking cash right here, this motherfucker is losing value as I speak. That $1 is going to be worth less tomorrow, meaning I'm not going to be able to buy as much with that $1. Right? So you want to use money. Like it is a thing to be used, and it is to earn you more. Because why? Because you want the good things in life, man. You don't want to be the one like wanting more. You're going to be the one that has all that you need and then some, and then enough to share, and then enough for fun, and then enough to really get what you need. Like that is the type of life that you want, not the other one. Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that also can earn for you. If you would become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, and that all may help to give you the abundance you crave. Don't you crave abundance? Don't you want to be abundant? Well then, make the gold piece work. Make the copper work. Make its child work to give you the abundant life that you want, that you desire, man, that you deserve. Do not buy from the clothes maker and the sandal maker more than you can pay out of the rest and still have enough for food and charity and penance to the gods. Basically, it's saying, don't live beyond your means. And I'm extremely guilty of this. And so that's why now that I've read this, now I'm making changes. Now I'm seeing this thing differently. If you can't take out 1/10 of what you make and still live on that 90%, then you're spending way too much fucking money. Plain and simple. So learn to live on that. Okay? Don't fucking go out of your way to buy. It's really interesting because I don't even really buy like fancy shit. I don't. But I do spend money on like the more I track it, there is money being spent beyond what I need. And so like let's be smart about this. Let's listen to our ancestors about this shit. So the guy who was learning who was learning from the rich man, he took out 1/10 of his savings for a year. And then he said he gave it to Agar the shield maker to bribe bronze. And each 4th month, oh wait, no, that was the, who did he give it to? Okay, he gave 1/10 of his yearly earnings to a guy named Asmir the brickmaker, who was traveling over the seas and would buy me a rare jewel. And when he returns, we shall sell these at high prices. He gave his money to the brickmaker to go buy jewels. Why? What does the brickmaker know about jewels? It makes me think of that Kanye. The Kanye is like, I like some of the Gaga songs. What does she know about cameras? She doesn't know shit about cameras. What does Asmir the brickmaker know about jewels? He doesn't know shit about jewels. So why the fuck did you give him money to go buy jewels? No. The response from the rich man was, every fool must learn. But why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels? Would you go to the bread maker to inquire about the stars? No. You would go to the astrologer. Your savings are gone. You have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots. Like if you're planting a tree, you uprooted it. Go plant another. Try again. And next time, if you would have advice about jewels, go to the jewel merchant. If you would know the truth about sheep, go to the herdsman. Advice is one thing that is freely given away, but watch that you take only what is worth having. That's literally the entire beginning that I was talking about. He who takes advice about his savings from one who is inexperienced in such matters shall pay with his savings for proving the falsity of their opinions. I like that. Saying this, he went away. Okay. So this time he used his savings and he gave it to a shield maker to buy bronze. I'm assuming that bronze makes shields. And each fourth month he does pay me rental. Okay, there we go. That's him using his money to get something back, to have it work for him. And then he says, and then what do you do with the rental? I do have a great feast with honey and fine wine and spiced cake. Also, I have bought me a scarlet tunic, and someday I shall buy me a young ass upon which to ride. To which Algamish laughed. You do eat the children of your savings, then how do you expect them to work for you? And how can they have children that will also work for you? First get thee an army of golden slaves, and then many a rich banquet may you enjoy without regret. So that 10th that you put away, that is going to earn you something, right? You don't fucking use that. That is the children of the 10th that is working for you. So all of these motherfuckers, this entire lineage of this 10th is going to work to create more. And they're going to work to create more and create more and create more. And then over time, it's that graph, right? Hopefully it's a, what is it called? Parabolic graph, x squared. Or better, it was an exponential graph. That one is like, whew. Or is it logarithmic? No, I think it's exponential. So, do you still take advice of the brickmaker? About brickmaking, they give good advice. You have learned your lesson well. You first learn to live upon less than you could earn. Next, you learn to seek advice from those who are competent enough through their own experiences to give it. And lastly, you have learned to make gold work for you. Make this shit work for you, dude. Stop spending it, stop wasting it. Make it work for you. Wealth grows wherever men exert energy. I just underlined that. I like that. Oh, yeah, this one was a good part. If a rich man builds a new palace, is the gold he pays out gone? No. The brickmaker has a part of it, and the laborer has a part of it, right? If you make a palace, the brickmaker gets money. The laborer makes money. The artist who painted the stuff, he makes money. Everyone who labored upon the house is a part of it. Yet when the palace is complete, is it not worth all it costs? And is the ground upon which it stands not worth more because it is there? And is the ground that adjoins it not worth more because it is there? So if you buy property and you create a house on it, is not that property more valuable? Didn't all the people that built it earn money? Doesn't that real estate rise in value? Doesn't the area around it rise in value? If there was a palace right next door to me, this place would be a lot more valuable. Wealth grows in magic ways. That's really nice. Underline that. Wealth grows in magic ways. No man can prophesy the limit of it. Provide also that thy family not want, should the gods call thee to their realms. For such protection, it is always possible to make provision, with small payments at regular intervals. Counsel with wise men. Seek the advice of men whose daily work is handling money. So talk to people who make money. I would say now, 2 friends that make money. Or really, one is just my mentor. So I don't know like if he counts as someone I talk to, but a fellow student of my mentor who I know makes a shitload of money is like helping me out here and there, like with stocks and stuff. And I'm talking to him. So by associating myself with him, I gain his wisdom. A small return and a safe one is far more desirable than risk. If 1/10 of all you earn is as much as you can comfortably keep, be content to keep this portion. Just 1/10, that's it. And then it talks about, this is how a man works himself from darkness into light. And you can't do that unless you have the understanding from those that have the light. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Interesting. 7 cures for a lean purse. I have to go soon to go to the Warrior Art Center, so we're gonna just start with this first one, and then we'll have to finish it for today. 7 cures for a lean purse. What does lean mean? You know, when you want to be lean is like when you want to lose fat. Now, your purse is like your wallet. Like purse is like for women, right? But back in the day, that's what they would call it. I think men actually wore purses back in the day where they had their coins and shit. Like that's what I imagine. Back in the days of Babylon. So cures for a lean purse. In the context of your purse or in the context of your wallet, or nowadays how you would say like pockets, right? You don't want a lean pocket, you want fat pockets. So curing your lean pocket or skinny pockets. The glory of Babylon endures. Down through the ages, its reputation comes to us as the riches of cities, its treasure as fabulous. Yet it was not always so. The riches of Babylon were the results of the wisdom of its people. The first had to learn how to become wealthy. When the good king Sargon returned to Babylon after defeating his enemies, the Elamites, he was confronted with a serious situation. The royal chancellor explained it to the king thus: after many years of great prosperity brought to our people, because your majesty built the great irrigation canals and the mighty temples of the gods, now that these works are completed, the people seem unable to support themselves. So they were during the creation of the canals and making the temples, that's how the people were fed, right? Because people were paid to do that. But now people seem unable to support themselves. The laborers are without employment. The merchants have few customers. The farmers are unable to sell their produce. The people have not enough gold to buy food. But where has all the gold gone that we spent for these great improvements? Demanded the king. That's very interesting. Very good question. Where has all the gold gone that we spent for these great improvements? It has found its way, I fear, responded the chancellor, into the possession of a few very rich men of our city. It filtered through the fingers of most our people as quickly as the goat's milk goes through the strainer. Now that the stream of gold has ceased to flow, most of our people have nothing to for their earnings. I think this is a typo. Have nothing for their earnings. The king was thoughtful for some time. Then he asked, why should so few men be able to acquire all the gold? Because they know how, replied the chancellor. One may not condemn a man for succeeding because he knows how. Neither may one with justice take away from a man who he has fairly earned, to give to men of less ability. But why, demanded the king, should not all the people learn how to accumulate gold and therefore become themselves rich and prosperous? Quite possible, Your Excellency, but who can teach them? Certainly not the priests, because they know not of money making. Who knows best in all our city how to become wealthy, Chancellor? Asked the king. The question answers itself, Your Majesty. Who has amassed the greatest wealth in Babylon? Well said, my able Chancellor. It is Arkad. Oh, that's our friend, our homie. Arkad is the one that was teaching our poor friends. He is richest man in Babylon. Bring him before me on the morrow. Upon the following day, as the king had decreed, Arkad appeared before him, straight and sprightly despite his 60 years and 10. I don't even know what that means. What is a score? Is score 12 years? What is a score? Number of points. A group or set of 20. 20. Interesting. I don't know what. Well, it wouldn't, because a dozen is 12. Wow, I didn't know a score was 12 or 20. So he was 60 years and 10. So 20 times 3 is 6 plus 10, 70. Dang. Oh, that is me. Arkad spoke the king. Is it true thou art the richest man in Babylon? So it is reported, Your Majesty, and no man disputes it. Damn, that's pretty gangster. Like, is it true you're a bad motherfucker? So it is said, and I do not dispute it. And no one disputes it. Yo, that's sick. How becomest thou so wealthy? by taking advantage of opportunities available to all citizens of our good city. Thou hast nothing to start with, only a great desire for wealth. Besides this, nothing. Arkad, continued the king, our city is in a very unhappy state because a few men know how to acquire wealth and therefore monopolize it, while the mass of our citizens lack the knowledge of how to keep any part of the gold they receive. It is my desire that Babylon be the wealthiest city in the world. Therefore, it must be a city of many wealthy men. Therefore, we must teach all the people how to acquire the riches. Tell me, Arkad, is there any secret to acquiring wealth? Can it be taught? It is practical, your majesty. That which one man knows can be taught to others. The king's eyes glowed. Arkad, thou speakest the words I wish to hear. Wilt thou lend thyself to this great cause? Wilt thou teach thy knowledge to a school for teachers, and each of them who shall teach others, until there are enough trained to each these truths to every worthy subject in my domain? Arkad bowed and said, I am thy humble servant to command. Whatever knowledge I possess, will I gladly give for the betterment of my fellow men and the glory of my king. Let your good chancellor arrange for me a class of 100 men, and I will teach to them those 7 cures which did fatten my purse, than which there was none leaner in all Babylon. A fortnight later, bro, these fucking words. What is a fortnight? Is that 2 weeks? Fortnight. 2 weeks. Nice. I knew that one. A fortnight later, in compliance with the king's command, the chosen 100 assembled in the great hall of the Temple of Learning, seated upon colorful rings in a semicircle. Arkad sat beside a small taboret, upon which smoked a sacred lamp, sending forth a strange and pleasing odor. Behold the richest man in Babylon, whispered a student, nudging his neighbors as Arkad arose. He is but a man, even as the rest of us. As a dutiful subject of our great king, Arkad began, I stand before you in his service, because once I was a poor youth who did greatly desire gold, and because I found knowledge that enabled me to acquire it, he asks that I impart unto you my knowledge. I started my fortune in the humblest way. I had no advantage, not enjoyed as fully by you and every citizen in Babylon. The first storehouse of my treasure was a well purse. I loathed its useful emptiness. I desired it to be round and full, clinking with the sound of gold. Therefore, I sought every remedy for a lean purse. I found 7. Nice. To you who are assembled before me, shall I explain the 7 cures for a lean purse, which I do recommend to all men who desire much gold. Each day for 7 days will I explain to you one of the 7 remedies. Listen attentively to the knowledge that I will impart. Debate it with me, discuss it among yourselves. Learn these lessons thoroughly, that ye may also plant in your own purse the seed of wealth. First must each of you start wisely to build a fortune of his own. Then wilt thou be competent, and only then to teach these truths to others. I shall teach to you in simple ways how to fatten your purses. This is the first step leading to the temple of wealth, and no man may climb who cannot plant his feet firmly upon the first step. We shall now consider the first cure. All right, tune in next week to learn the 7 cures, and next time on Dragon Ball Z, you will learn the 7 cures for being a broke ass motherfucker. See you guys.